I love this one because this comes up all the time in therapy. Hey, it's Mallory, Grimste, teen therapist from Woodbridge, Connecticut, and today we're coming from my home office. That's right, thanks to the coronavirus, the state of Connecticut is currently in a shelter in place. Now, I don't know if that will still be in effect by the time that this video goes live because I pre-record my videos. But given the circumstances, I thought we could have a little fun in these next few videos. So today, I'm going to be reacting to some funny therapy memes that my dear assistant Dominique put together for me. She's really awesome. She helps manage the schedule and field phone calls and emails for me so that I can concentrate on the whole counseling work. Alright, so let's get to it. When you're usually depressed but you get a small random burst of happiness, yay grass. This one is really funny because that's usually what happens. In order to feel depressed, you also have to know what happiness feels like. And so it's rare that you just feel low and down and depressed 100% of the time, which is why it can be a little confusing for your friends and family when you do have a random burst of happiness. And it's usually over silly, minute things like enjoying the grass rolling around. I'm not sure where this cartoon is from, but it looks really funny. If you have ever experienced that where you get like a random burst of happiness, let me know in the comments below because I would love to laugh along with you all. All right, let's see what's next. Therapist, how does that make you feel? Me, it's like, pulls out my phone, hang on, I saw the best meme for this. There, I tagged you. So I really love this because I don't know about you, but GIFs and memes, or however you say them, GIFs, GIFs, I say GIFs, but memes really do a wonderful job of just relating very normal experiences in a way that's really difficult to put words to. And as a therapist, I can tell you that when it comes to emotions and emotional experiences, sometimes it's hard to put language to that. So when you can find a photo or a meme or a lyric or song that expresses exactly what it is that you are experiencing, I think that is awesome and wonderful. But I do really appreciate this meme. I think it is really, really funny. If you have any really funny memes that you want me to take a look at, please be sure to tag me. I'm at Mallory Grimste on Instagram, and I would love to laugh along with you. I'll take the terrible twos over the torturous teens. I don't know about that. I know, so there's always some funny way of talking about the different experiences that come at different ages. Like, I know one of my friends, she calls her daughter the three-nager, which I love. And it's true, that girl has some sass, let me tell you. I don't know if I would take the terrible twos over the torturous teens. I think that there are pros and cons or risks and benefits to each age group. I don't know. I think it is really funny though, because when kids are younger, people always say, oh, enjoy it, they grow up so fast. And then when they're teenagers, they're like, oh my gosh, when will this be over? We're always trying to rush to the next thing. But if we just pause and just enjoy the moment and know that this is temporary, it too shall pass, it can make it a little easier. When you think you're depressed, but you know you're probably just using depression as an excuse to be lazy and self-loathing, but then you realize that that in itself might actually be a symptom of depression. Okay, so there's a Scooby-Doo and the gang, and what's that guy's name, Fred? He's saying, what is he saying? Well, gang, it looks like we've got another mystery on our hands. That is really funny. I grew up watching the Scooby-Doo cartoons. I don't know if you have. Give me a like if you have to let me know. But I absolutely agree with this. Yeah, so feeling depressed and experiencing depression tends to kind of be this cycle. And sometimes we get what are called secondary gains, which means that even though ultimately depression is not doing right by us, there's some sort of benefit we get out of some of the symptoms. So that means that even though it could be problematic in the long run, we're still getting enough of a boost or a benefit that we're continuing what we call maladaptive behaviors, or behaviors that just aren't working for us in the long run. So I always use the example of a car that's speeding on the highway. Now, we all know that speeding on the highway, it's illegal, it can be really dangerous, especially when they're weaving in and out of traffic. And yet, they get rewarded for bad behavior because what do the safe, responsible drivers do when they see a speeding car? They move over to let that speeding car go by. So, in effect, you're rewarding bad behavior and reinforcing a secondary gain for somebody who's making poor, unhealthy choices. Now, of course, please don't use this as a way of staying in the way of danger. If somebody is speeding, get out of their way. It's not worth being right. It's worth being effective and being safe, which means getting out of harm's way. I love Saved by the Bell. When your mom is talking absolute nonsense, but you live under her roof, so you just have to sit there and take it. Oh man, relatable. I do love my mom dearly. She does talk a lot of absolute nonsense. Sorry, Mom. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I love her a lot, but sometimes it's not always worth correcting somebody when they're wrong. Sometimes you just gotta grin and bear it and be like, okay. It goes back to what I was mentioning before with the speedy racer on the highway. Sometimes the best strategy is not focusing on being right or correct or making other people understand that they're wrong. It's really about being effective. Checking in on, okay, what is the purpose of this communication? And is it reasonable? Does it matter? I don't know. Now, if it does, of course, speak up, make your point. Sometimes you just gotta let people talk their nonsense and know that what you know is correct. I love this one because this comes up all the time in therapy. My anxiety, something's off. Me. How so? Anxiety. Something's wrong. Me. What? Anxiety. Something. Me. Like, can you give me a general idea? Anxiety. Something's off. I love this so much because sometimes our emotions, well, all the time, our emotions are trying to tell us something, but they're not always very clear, and it's up to us to take the information, interpret it, and make what's called a wise choice or decision for us. Anxiety's purpose is typically to tell you to wake up, pay attention, there's something afoot here, there's potential danger. So right now with the shelter-in-place mandate in Connecticut and elsewhere, there's a lot of anxiety. To be fair, that makes sense. It's probably healthy. There's a pretty big public health risk out there right now. So it makes sense that our anxiety would be creeping up to let us know, like, hey, be a little careful right now. There's some potential danger out there. When somebody has an anxiety condition, usually those anxiety signals get a little haywire, whereas most of the time our emotions use our body to talk to us. Others, our bodies scream it at us. Like, it won't shut up, and it's not always clear or helpful. So part of where therapy can be really beneficial with this is helping you hone in to the other factors that could be highlighting and turning on your anxiety, telling you to pay attention. So seeing a therapist can really help you get clear on the particular messages that your anxiety is trying to tell you. Oh, kitty cat. Just go to talk to someone. You'll be fine. What part of I have an anxiety disorder don't you understand? Oh, I feel this so much. So I used to do these school anxiety workshops, and they were really awesome. They were one-day workshops for teens. But the thing is that I wasn't considering is I would have all these people sign up, and then about half the people would actually show up the day of the workshop. And that's because their anxiety just got way too extreme at needing to go to a new place with new people for a long time and not have any frame of reference. It was just too much for for somebody who was already at a high anxiety level. So that's why I ended up converting over to the teen girl therapy groups, where you have a step process in, because part of treating anxiety is by exposing yourself in small doses to that anxiety. So not only do you get used to it, but you can practice your skills in vivo to manage and alleviate those anxiety symptoms. So one of the ways that I do this is by having you come to the office and meet me first. So not only do you get to know somebody in the room, you already know where it's located, what the setup is, and you have a general idea of what happens in the counseling sessions. Oh, SpongeBob. Waiting for anxiety to go away. 15 minutes later, 1 hour later, 2 hours later, 1 eternity later. I feel that. And that is where your coping strategies come in. So a lot of people think that your coping skills make the stress or the big emotions disappear. And that's not true. Sometimes you just gotta wait it out. So coping skills or coping strategies actually help you hang in there while it's going away. Over time, as you learn how to manage and navigate your emotions, and therapy is a great way to learn how to do that, it will get easier and it won't last as long. But until that happens, having good coping strategies is really important. And if you have a meme that you think that I should react to on this channel, make sure you tag me at Mallory Grimste on Instagram. And please make sure that you share this video, because you never know who you could be helping in the process. Thanks for watching.